All right, welcome back. This is John Locke, and today I'm talking about this article that was in SEO Roundtable, and this references the weekly Google Webmaster chat that John Mueller puts on. Somebody asked, do you have to optimize your whole website for one page in order to rank well? God bless John Mueller. He really tries to point people in the right direction. He is kind of the Google representative, search liaison. Okay, anyway, he was asked this question about optimizing the website. If you only have one URL, one page, will it help you to have the whole website optimized in order to rank well? So let's see what was said at the 2317 mark exactly. And then I want to give you my thoughts on it really quick.
One is it necessary to optimize the whole website if we want to rank a particular page or the URL? Or it's okay if you don't optimize the whole website?
That's a good question. So in general, we do look primarily at the page when it comes to ranking, but it's always embedded within the context of your whole website.
Context.
So that's something where I would say it's worthwhile to improve your website overall, so that actually we understand a lot better how this particular page is really important and what the value of that particular page is. So in particular, things like internal linking and kind of understanding of the headings and the content of the pages, all of that helps us even if it's outside of just that one page that you care about.
What he's saying is Google, the algorithm is looking at the context of your entire site as a category. If you focus on one category, it's going to weight your site more heavily toward that. If Google, when it evaluates the content, if it's 100% clear that you're about one category, it's going to make your site fit into that bucket a little bit easier, is what they're telling you.
So that's something where I would say if you care about one particular page in your website, then you should make sure that it's like the rest of your website that's associated with that page is also kind of improved as much as possible.
Did you hear what he said there? He said, we do look at the page as an individual page, but it's embedded with the context of your whole website. All right, so the website itself as a whole has an influence on whether a particular page is going to rank. And this is something that we've been saying for a long time, but I'm going to let him point it out.
Okay. My second question is, one of our competitor is using the redirected expired domains, okay, and they were not on the last 50 rankings also, and suddenly they are ranking on first page on the first SERP ranking. So does Google ignore the redirected expired domain or push down the website when they find the use of redirect expired domain, and how much time the Google takes?
Google became a domain registrar, in fact, to be able to track the history of domains. I can tell you from personal experience that expired domains, they still have some weight. Not as much as it probably was in the past, but expired domains still have a little bit of weight. But with this one caveat, and it links into what this person asked previously, the site that you're redirecting, the expired domain that you're directing, that content needs to very closely match what you're redirecting it to. You can't just take random expired domains, point them at your site, and if the content does not match very closely, it's not going to have an effect. So redirecting domains still kind of works, but only if it is the same category and the content is very similar. If it's not closely related enough, it's going to have next to no effect at all. Almost pretty much no effect. So that's something I know firsthand.
Yeah, I think this is like a tactic that is as ancient as the web. You buy some old expired website and then you redirect it to your website, and we have a lot of practice with it. So it's something where some
His demeanor is telling me right here, and the way that he's saying this, his body language, his vocal language, they know this trick. They know this trick very well. So, yeah, they'll crawl that old URLs, but if it's not delivering the same thing, it's not gonna work how you want it to work.
sometimes it feels like sites are getting away with it or seeing some value out of it. But essentially, from our algorithm's point of view, we do try to recognize this and work with it appropriately. So it's not something that I would recommend doing. I think from a business point of view, sometimes it makes sense to buy an existing website and say I will kind of like a business, work together and have a larger client base, something like that. But it's very different from like buying an expired domain name and just redirecting it to your website and hoping that something comes out of it.
He's saying don't shortcut it too much. If you're buying an expired domain, I mean, the best thing to do would have like this separate brand if that's what you want to do. But just redirecting it alone by itself, there has to be more of a value add than that. This is too much of a gimmick, and they know this gimmick. It's an old gimmick, so make sure that your site is matching what you're redirecting. All right, so what he was saying there basically is he was saying your website as a whole is going to have an influence on whether a particular page on your site ranks for that. Now, we've done a few videos on EAT, the expertise, authority, and trustworthiness. People have talked about this. There's a lot of discussion about expertise, authority, and trustworthiness within the SEO community. But Google has said, and the Google reps have said, that they don't have a specific EAT metric. But they do have like other things that could be interpreted as EAT or correlate to that. So some of the things that you would want to do in improving that is the subject matter of your site. If the entire subject matter of your site is about one subject, and when people come to the pages on your site, if they're giving signals that they are finding value on those pages, and those pages seem to give good signals that people are satisfied with the results, then that's going to be a positive. If you have a lot of sites linking from within your related industry, from within your category, your industry, if a lot of people are linking to that particular site and to that page, but they're linking to the site as a whole, and it looks like a natural link profile with a steady link velocity, meaning it's not just one burst and then it stops and it flatlines, but it's a steady, if people are steadily linking to that, then that's going to be a positive thing. If people are sharing it on social, I don't know how much influence that has, because that's something that can be pretty easily manipulated. Links from good sites that are big brand sites is a little bit harder to manipulate, but social signals can be gamed to a certain extent. People do sell social signals, like they can sell followers and shares and thumbs up and likes and things like that. So to a certain extent, I think that they backed off about 5 years ago with using those as a strong ranking signal. I have no idea whether it's even like a minor signal at this point. But your site overall, if it covers the subject matter, if people seem to like that site, I mean, if it has good page speed and you're taking care of all the technical issues, I mean, that's good. But overall, do people trust your site in this category? Do people trust the results that are on your site? And do the other pages of your site have high quality content, free of grammatical errors? The other pages, people are linking to it, they're referencing it. People seem to be satisfied when they're on the other pages on your site. A track record of excellence, if you will. all those things are going to have a positive effect on whether a new piece of content that you publish on your website is going to have a chance of ranking. So when he says this, it's not about optimizing just the one page, it's about optimizing the site as a whole. These signals are going to get increasingly harder and more difficult to game as time goes on, which, as it should be, these signals should correlate to the real world of what people would be satisfied with. So every piece of content that you put out there, make sure that it answers people's questions and does so in a way that's not too short, not too long, but covers all the bases, does so in an entertaining way. The experience on the site is appealing and pleasant, and be proactive about building your brand, getting press, earning PR and links to your website. All these things are going to help you each individual page, and I can attest to this. I've seen this with client sites. Sites that have a long track record of excellence seem to do better with new content. That new content gets a chance way before. And again, it goes back to the thing of what we've said many, many times. This has always been the goal. Back in 2008, they said that they want to rank big brands, and that's a solution. Characteristics of a big brand: people like the content, they link to it, they trust it. The signals on the page right now, it seems like they are able to measure it in a way that's more accurate than it has been in the past. So I would like to know what your thoughts are on this. My name is John Locke. My business is Lockdown Design and SEO. I'm here. I'm trying to publish once every week. I did take a little bit of a break. I apologize for that. That's all I have for now. Until next time, peace.